Welcome, whole lifers, to the Health Over Everything podcast. I am Stephen Z.
And I am SoCal Gula. Today we're going to be talking about Mind Aikido. But first, Steven, tell them what Mind Aikido is.
Mind Aikido is basically like a mental practice that you can use to redirect negative emotions, thoughts, and help you to become more resilient and just improve your well-being in general.
So, negative thoughts, you're going to change them into more powerful strength thoughts. So, you just power through life through this practice. Is it like a practice or what is it specifically? Or is
I
it
would say
just
it's like a practice.
mindset?
It's probably like a mindset, but it's also like, in order to kind of cement your mindset in stone, you got to practice it. You just can't walk around thinking negative thoughts all day and then be a happy person. I don't think that's just how it works. So to me, it's a way to, instead of throwing like a pity party, oh, poor me, instead of thinking those kind of thoughts, have thoughts that are more constructive and more beneficial and how to overcome your problems and just not sit there and basically lament in your freaking emotions.
Yes, and this is specifically for men because women, they have emotions. The emotions are for the women. That's fine. Like, but us men, a lot of us are trying to cope with a life, and like how do we get through life? You got society telling you to share your emotions, be more emotional. Like you can cry, which I don't have a problem with guys crying or anything. We all do that,
Yeah,
right?
me neither.
But it's just like, you know, it just kind of like weaken us, making us a little bit weak little humans when we're supposed to be providers, we're supposed to be fighters, killers, like we're supposed to be
Yeah.
out there doing the damn thing, taking care of our responsibilities. And then there's this whole message of kind of like to be a little bit weak, in my opinion, like kind of passive and emotional. And,
Yeah.
in
It's
my
okay to be
opinion,
lazy.
huh?
It's okay to be lazy. It's okay to be unhealthy and obese.
Yeah, it's okay to be all
Like,
these bad things.
yeah,
Back in the day, there used to be who's the one that goes out and makes the civilization, who supports the tribe, the guy that out there with a six pack that could run, that could lift, that could go out there and get the food and provide for the community because they can't
yeah,
do it. You're the strongest. Like there's a whole world out there, and it's a very tough world. Like this world's tough for everybody. Some people
yeah,
say you might move to a different state. I'm moving out of this state. It's just too tough here, and they're like it's like they're taught and bred to just run away from all your problems instead of everybody fighting back. But you need strong men and a strong mindset in order to do these things, which a lot of people don't have nowadays. That's why the government is taking so much control over everybody. And
yeah.
we're becoming weaker, fatter, unhealthier, sadder, depressed, and everything like that. And it's just sad to see. So, Mind Aikido is kind of like a mental practice and a mental, like, I guess, I don't know what you would actually think it is, but it's
I
something
would
to
say
keep
it's
out of
just
that.
like a mindset. Yeah,
So it's
it's
a
a
mindset.
mindset. You know what I mean? Like I like one of the things Andrew Tate talks about is like
Uh,
like struggling is a good thing because if you were not struggling, it would be easy and everyone would have it and it would have no value. Like to me, that makes like so much sense why certain things in life, like getting a six pack, getting $1 billion, is hard because if everyone would do it, there would be no value behind it. Like the point of it is to be hard. So the fact that you're struggling is good because it means you are pushing yourself, you are growing, and you are trying to become a better person. If it was easy, it's easy to sit around the house and open up a box of donuts and just sit there and eat. But to wake up early, get your ass out there on the streets and do your run, lift your weights, like that is a lot harder. So that's why not a lot of people do it because of the difficulty behind it.
yeah, and it's crazy too because this whole society, like we're spoiled. Everybody's really spoiled, and we're fighting for more things. We need more stuff. We need UBI, Universal Basic Income. EBT can buy junk food. You can buy sodas. You
More
can buy those
handouts.
donuts. It's free. Like you're getting free money from EBT to go buy donuts with. So it's just like so easy. And now you're just getting fatter and lazier and unhealthier. And then what do you do then? Then you're just like, I need more free stuff because I need like you just get used to being provided for and taken care of, and you just want more free stuff. And then what does that do? You don't have no respect or no like if in yourself because you didn't do anything. Like you got
Yeah,
fat and you
exactly.
got unhealthy and you got everything provided for you, assistant, rent assistant, and all this other stuff. Instead of going out there and just facing the hard truth, like, hey, I'm going to go face the hardness of life and go challenge and make and beat these challenges and be better. And then when you beat these challenges, hey, I beat that challenge. I'm better. I could beat any challenge. throw something my way,
Yeah.
see if I can challenge it, and see if I could overcome it and beat it. And then you start having respect for yourself, saying like, hey, I did this, and it all starts with like, stop getting free stuff. Why are we giving out so many free things? It's so easy to
Yeah.
get, and it's not a challenge. So like, go out there and get that six pack. If you get that six pack, like I'm working on right now,
Mhm.
I'm gonna be very proud of that. I'm gonna be, hey, look at my six pack. I'm gonna be taking my shirt off and just proud of it. Probably looking in the mirror, feeling it, because I'm proud of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
And what?
exactly. I'm not gonna lie, I do that every so often. I'll like look in. Like right now, I'm at the point where you can see my six pack without me like flexing. I'm like, damn, like because I know all the hard work and the effort that I put into getting it, all the meal prepping that I do, all the workouts that I do that and I don't necessarily always want to do them, but I do want to be more healthy, and I'm in this phase where I'm trying to build more muscle on my frame. So I know in order to do that, I might have to work out when I don't want to. Like obviously, if I don't work out, I'm not going to gain any muscle for that day. So it's
Yep.
like a constant and repetitive thing that you have to do to challenge yourself physically, challenge yourself mentally as well to get your ass out there. And, the days you don't feel like it, I think are probably the most important ones because, a lot of the times I don't want to wake up at 4 in the morning. I just would rather sleep in. And, I had to kind of beat that part out of my brain. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been listening to a lot of Andrew Tate, and today was like the first day that at 4 o'clock, I hit the button and just rolled right out of bed. Like other days, I was pushing it to like 4:15, 4:20, and I was still working out. But today, it felt like an accomplishment. I was like, I wasn't lazy. When that fucking alarm clock went off, I got right out of bed and I got, my day started and I did what I had to do.
And it's crazy because Andrew Tate kind of inspired this episode with his
Yeah.
mental thing. And the reason why you listen to him, like, he gets a lot of bad publicity. A lot of people talk
Yeah.
shit on him and thinks he's such a horrible person. These are coming from most of the weak people. Yes, he might said something, he might have
Where's
done
my
something that's
feelings?
bad, and you're all crying about it. Oh, we're crying about it. But at the end of the day, like, who's the one that's complaining about it a lot of the time? It's the weaker ones, like, or the people that have issues, mental issues, or something struggling in their lives, and they
Mhm.
need some mental aikido, or mind aikido,
Yeah,
and they
it might
need
be that
to.
I was gonna say it might be that he is shining a spotlight on the areas that they need to work on, and it's almost
Yeah,
like an eye opener. Like, oh, I probably should be doing these things, but I don't want to because I don't feel like it. So I'm gonna say this guy's a bad person because he's saying I should do all these things, and it's bad to be fat, it's bad to be lazy. I don't
yeah.
agree. You're hurting my
And like,
feelings.
he does, like, his main whole objective is trying to help young men. That's what he says all the time. And I can understand like why a lot of women don't like him. Like, there are he says there's a lot of women that do like him, and I know quite a few women that actually do like Andrew Tate. But there's a
Mhm.
lot of, if you talk to a lot of women, they don't like him. Like, I one time posted his quote one day, and it was a good quote on Facebook, and I got blocked by some girl that's been following me for a while because I said something that Andrew Tate said. If I didn't quote him with his
Better
name,
off.
yeah, if I just left his name off of the quote, she probably would have never noticed, and she would have followed, just because that
Oh, I like
that
that
name
quote.
triggered me. How can you even post him? How can you do anything to support him at all? So
Yeah.
if you're gonna unfollow us for this episode, go ahead, I guess. But at the end of the day, the reason why we bring him up is because I'm in a little transformation. We've been doing this health over everything for a while, and like, I was doing really well, got all the way down to 179. I used to be at 230, and I felt really proud of myself. I was feeling really good, but then I fell off, and then I fell off, and for a while, so December, January, and then I was still kind of in it, like dabbling in it. But you got to go
Mhm.
every day. You got to go to the gym all the time. If you can't make it to the gym, do some push-ups at the house. You
Yeah.
got to eat well all the time. Can't just eat well one day a week. And I started falling off. I started seeing the weight gain, and then now I'm fat again. I'm all the way back up to almost 200 pounds. So then I'm like, you know what? I need to change my shit again. Like, what am I doing? So I'm like sitting there changing my shit, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop eating sugar again. Now I'm starting to lose the weight again. I'm doing really good. But when I first made that transformation, like, your mind is just, I don't know what's up with your mind, but it's like it needs the sugar. Your body's coming in with the transformation, and it starts thinking all these bad things. So I'm like, feeling down, feeling a little sad, feeling a little depressed a little bit. So I started listening to sad music, and it just made me more sad and more depressed. And then I literally text some girl I know and tell her I'm sad. And I'm just thinking about, why, like, what is this? Like, what am I doing? I'm a man telling a woman that I am sad. This is like dumb. This is stupid as hell. Like, she's probably looking at me like, what a weak man you are.
What
Like,
do you
even
want me to do about it?
I understand and I love you and all this other stuff. Well, of course, that's what a nice woman's going to say. But is she going to respect you for that? No. Like, I am the woman. I have the emotions. You're supposed to be the man providing and leading and doing the right things. And I'm not doing that. So then I was like, what am I doing? I kind of had a little self realization and I
Yeah.
popped on a fucking Andrew Tate video. And then boom, now I'm like, oh, instantly changed. Like, what am I doing? Never I'm going to tell a woman I'm sad again. Just keep it to myself. Get over it. It's just a fleeting emotion.
Yeah.
You got to, like, what do you got to do if you're sad? Go take care of your shit. Go
Yeah.
out there and stop eating the sugar. No bullshit. Like, stop eating the fast food. Like, get fit. And then I'm thinking, like, okay, how many girls in my life have I didn't want to be with me? And I'm thinking I'm sad and depressed over my lifetime because of things like this, because I'm telling
Yeah.
them things like this, because I'm not leading, because I'm not being a man. Like, I'm thinking, like, well, they don't like me. I'm like, there's something wrong with me. Well, there is a fatal flaw with me. There's a fatal flaw, and that's that you're being weak. You're being a weak man that can't provide and lead and be confident and ready to go. So now I'm
Yeah.
just like, you know what? I'm gonna be that guy because fuck this shit. Like, what am I doing? And then, like, so at the end of the day, he was saying, like, think about all those girls and just and use that, like you were saying earlier, use that pain and sorrow or whatever you want that Dave gave to you by telling you no, that I don't like you, I don't want you, I'm never gonna have sex with you or anything like that. And go out there and use that to get that six pack, to get rich, to get mentally strong, to lead, to get
Yeah.
everything that you want in life. Because it's out there to get. You just got to go get it. And you're gonna take it from people that don't are not trying to get it. You know, like they're out there want the girl, and you want the girl too. But who's gonna get it? The more confident one, the one that's ready to lead, the one that's ready to go, not the old me in the 20s and the 30s that were weak and sad and depressed. Like, it's just they don't want that guy. You know, no matter what they say on social media, no matter what they do, like, they don't want that guy. Trust me, I've seen it over and over again. The guy they pick over me is, not acting like that.
Yeah. And that's exactly what Mind Aikido is taking those negative experiences that you've had and finding a way to turn it into a positive. You can use all those hurtful breakups and all the shitty things you've heard from women or even, your guy friends and use that as fuel to motivate you to do the shit that you need to do. And, motivation is only going to last you for so long. Eventually, your motivation will run out. So that's where I think having a strong mindset and having a strong discipline is going to kick in because you're going to need that at some point. Like, even my fiance, sometimes she'll tell me, like, it's okay to go off your diet for a little bit. But in my mind, I'm like,
No.
oh, like I am doing my thing. Like, I understand not everyone wants to do what I'm doing. You may not like what I'm doing, but I'm doing it for me. And it's making me what I feel like into a stronger version of myself, a more disciplined version of myself, a version of myself that doesn't give in to all these things that are pleasing to the body, all these flavorful things or pleasures with the mind or, even sex. It's about, I kind of feel like the more that I control those urges, like the better I become because I'm not just giving in to every single temptation that I have. I
Yep.
have the ability to control those things and not allow them to overcome me now. And
Yeah.
that happened with practice. It wasn't like, oh, one day I'm just, I've got everything under control. It's like it took, trial and error, ups and downs, forward and back, time and time again. But the fact that I kept coming back and kept attempting to try is why I feel like I'm, where I'm at right now.
Yeah, resisting those temptations is crazy too, because we all have temptations, and it's like, think about how much time we waste on these temptations. And we, like, just like you're saying, like, a lot of people talk about jacking off, like, like on the
Yeah.
internet. Oh, this guy's over here jacking his dick off because he's sad and there's no girl out there. Well, what am I gonna do? Well, I'm gonna go to the gym instead of jacking my dick off. So he's doing that, and I'm at the gym. Who's gonna get the girl? And who's gonna get what they want, the family that they want in life?
Yeah.
And also, another thing too is, like, all the bad things people say to you, like, throughout your life. Like, you just think about this. Everybody has something in their mind right now, or they just think about it. Think about it for a second. Is there something that your mom, your dad, an old girlfriend, old boyfriend, a friend that said bad about you that you remember? I actually made a list. I have, like, what I'm looking at now. I have 12 different things that people, right here, that people said
Nice.
to me that I always remember. And
Hmm.
it's just like, why do they say that? Like, that's one here. Like, everybody loves you until they get to know the real you. Like, what does that mean? Like, like, I'm a fucking asshole. Like, maybe I gotta get a better personality. And then once you start thinking about the things that people told you and get better, then you could be like, hey, I'm getting better. I got another one there over here. Like, there's no hope for you. You're too blunt. You're an ugly motherfucker. You're too short. You should never have kids. Like, oh, this is a piece of shit job. You're
Damn.
going to be working it for the rest of your life. Like just things like this. Like, oh, he gets taken advantage of all the time. Like it's going to be hard for you to get a girl if you can only take care of yourself, things like that. Some girl may make a mistake and have a kid with you one day, just things like that. So it's just like these negative things that I remember. And the reason I wrote them down because I want to remember them. So I'm like,
Use it
that's
as
my
fuel.
fuel. That's my
Yeah.
fuel. Like, okay, I'm going to get fucking good. I'm going to get a six pack. I'm going to get fucking rich. I'm going to fucking get healthy. I'm going to get really fucking good. And I'm going to look at all you girls. And some of those are guys that told me that. And I'm going to
Mhm.
look at you girls and stuff like, and I'm going to, what I'm going to say? I'm going to be like, I'm way too good for you. At one point, you were too good for me. And you may still not want me. You may be in love. You may be with some guy and you may be married and in love, or you may not have a happy marriage, or you might be single with cats or anything. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be better than you and you're not going to be on my level. I'm not going to, that's my mindset. That's why I'm
Uh,
going hard every fucking day. And that's my mindset, the keto mindset.
yeah. That's kind of where I'm at too, is like I'm so focused on what I'm doing, like I'm not gonna allow anything to really knock me off. But one of the things that I guess you could use this kind of like mind Aikido. I've said this in another podcast, but my dad passed away when I was 20, and for the longest time I've always considered it like a negative thing. I've always
Yeah.
correlated it with a negative experience in my life, and it wasn't until, I was in my 40s, was it 40s? Maybe 38. We'll just say 40, that I
Yeah.
kind of looked at that event and was like, you know what? I'm thankful that he passed the way he did, because it made me realize that I may have a drinking problem. And if I keep traveling down the road that I'm traveling, I'm probably going to end up like him. And in those regards, it was like I took a negative thing that I felt was negative for
Yeah.
20 years, and now it's a positive. Now I'm thankful that he died that way, because if he would have died in a car accident, it still would have hurt. But now I wouldn't have had my problem with well, I thought I had a problem with alcohol. Other
Yeah,
people
you
didn't.
did.
I kind of
I
felt
think
like
so.
I did. um
If
I
you
would
think
have
you do,
never,
you do.
yeah, maybe I would have never considered that I had a problem with drinking, and I never would have changed my ways. So now I'm able to be thankful for it. So in a way, that is like my Aikido.
Yeah, a lot of people say like, "Oh, things happen to you for a reason," and people are like, "Okay, so this bad thing happened for a reason." Like my dad died for a reason. Like, well, yeah,
Yeah.
my dad died too for a reason. My dad died. I mean, and of a heart attack. Maybe
Mhm.
there was no reason behind it, but I'm gonna take that lesson and example and try to learn from that. Like learn from other people's mistakes, and the
Yeah.
ones that are closest to you are the easiest ones to learn from. And just
Yep.
look at all the bad shit they do, and like if you're fucking getting abused by your fucking verbally abused by your parents, like you're gonna like learn like that was a shitty thing. I'm not gonna verbally abuse my children. You
Yeah.
learn from that. You learn from the horrible experiences in life, and then you give your child a great life by not yelling at them, and then or something like that. But
Exactly.
other kids, I see people like everyone has problems and life is hard, and you got some people saying like, oh, my life was so shitty. I'm like, what happened to you? Is like I just was treated too good. Like I just had everything, and I never had any struggle in my life. Can you imagine that having no struggle, everything handed to you? Everyone
Yeah.
just, then what do you do? Now, like, if you're having everyone feed you, you're learning, like, and just living the comfortable life. I never want you to work. I'm always going to take care of you. Then you have
Mhm.
no skills. Then what happens when
Yeah.
the provider dies? Then you have no skill. How are you supposed to live life? Like, you
Well,
learn
you
how to
blow the
live
money.
life. Yeah, you learn how
Yeah.
to live life. How are you supposed to pay your bills? Like, do you even know how to pay rent? Do you know how to pay like, even the house has property tax. You're going to learn how to pay that property tax before they take it from you? Like, what are you going to learn in life? It's like,
Yeah.
and you learn through pain. I learned through heartbreaks before. I had many heartbreaks. A lot of the girls deny me, and I learned through that. And then like as one thing too, like I'm always like, oh, you're too short. That's one thing a lot of girls always tell me. You're 5'7". You're too short. And what does Andrew Tate says? Like, well, if you're fucking too short, go out there and fucking that has no bearing on you getting rich, no bearing on you getting a six pack, no bearing on
Mhm.
you having the best personality and attitude and being funny and stuff like that.
And you can't change the fact that you're short, but you can
Yeah,
change these other
you
things.
could change all these other things, and then like there's only so many tall men to go around. Like all these girls think like I want a tall man. Well, there's only so many, and they're gonna like, do you think they want you? And a lot of them are pieces of shit. A lot of them are lazy. Like they use their tallness. Like, hey, I can get girls because I'm tall. They don't work on their personality. They don't work on their fitness. They don't work on all this stuff because they just like I get girls because I'm tall. because they want a tall guy. So that kind of like limits a lot of these guys. So like maybe I could outbeat them in other ways. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, like you could always be the best you and use those things like, oh, you don't want to, I hear a lot of rich people are short because of that reason too. Like, oh, I'll just get
That was
rich
my
because
motivation. That's why
I'm
Bill
a,
Gates is where he's at because he was a
uh,
fucking nerd in high
I'm a little
school.
bit taller when I stand on my $1 million, like,
Yeah. What I
so.
was what you were saying made me think about something Andrew Tate said too. Is that like Batman is Batman because his fucking parents died. If his parents didn't die, he would not become Batman. Is because he had to go through this painful event that made him into this stronger version of himself. So if you're going through the struggle right now, like it probably is happening for a reason. You could be sad and throw a pity party and wish things are different, or fucking man up and do what you can. It may be only a few things, but do what you can to improve your situation. Slowly but surely, things will change.
Yeah, like the one thing that Andrew Tate said that I really like too. He's like, people are like, um, I'm I'm fat and depressed because I have no woman. He's like, no, you have no woman because you're fat and depressed.
Yeah.
It's like it's like stop being
Flip
depressed
it
and stop
backwards.
being fat, and you'll get a woman. Like so, it's kind of funny like that as well. Like you got it backwards. You're not like it's almost like, oh, I'm happy because what does a fat bastard say? I'm
I
unhappy
eat
because I
because I'm
eat because I'm
unhappy.
eat
Yeah.
because I'm unhappy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, well, just stop eating and then you'll be
Yeah.
happy and you'll be skinny. Like, and it's not just about being
Yeah.
fat because obviously, like, people like nowadays are, oh, fat is beautiful. Like, if you say anything, like, they still are a beautiful body. And if you make fun of them, you're a piece of shit. You're a mean person. And it's just like, dude, there's so, like, no one can really tell me for a fact that a skinny, healthy person doesn't look better than a fatter person. Like, I don't know. Like, I, I just don't think I just look at myself and I'm like, I look better when I'm skinnier than when I'm fat.
And
And
you
I'll
feel
just,
better.
and I don't like putting people down and I'm not going to go tell people that like just mean a way like that. But I'll
Yeah.
just say for myself, like I look better when I was skinnier and I'm more attracted to skinnier girls than unhealthier. Like, and it's also just unhealthy, but
Yeah.
it also limits your a lot of things in life. It brings depression. It makes you less energetic. That means you're less willing to go make some money and go do the things that you need to do. Like we're making this podcast right now. Maybe I'll be too fat and lazy and tired because I'm like, oh, I just ate so much food right now. My stomach just feels so full, you know. And like another thing too, like when people say like when you're hungry, you go out and get shit. Like if you're really hungry and even back in the day, you're gonna go hunting. Like, man, I'm fucking starving. I haven't eaten a whole day. And then the
Yeah.
day goes by, I haven't eaten 2 days. Are you just gonna sit around being lazy? Like if I ate a bunch of fucking food, like 4,000 calories and a bunch of food, I'm gonna be sitting around lazy, like, oh man, I just ate all this food. I'm so
Yeah.
full.
Just want to
But
relax.
now, if you're hungry, you're like, I'm not going to sit around. I need to go get food. So I'm going to figure out how I'm going to go get some money, go do a job so I can get some money, go fucking just go begging on the side of the road. I'm going to go get some food somehow because I'm starving. So it's like,
Exactly.
same thing with, so it's like that, like if you're just going to eat all the time, you're going to be lazier because you're just content. Like it's just, that's science. Like it's just the way it is. And now you're not going to go get it. So it's like, it's good to have a little bit of hunger. It's good to have that little bit of hunger so you go out there and get what you need. The same thing with
Yeah.
like the jacking off thing or the pornos. Like these people go jacking off all the time. You're satisfied as soon as you're so horny, you're ready to go get a girl. Like I want to go have sex. I want to go
Exactly.
like you're on the hunt for like for those girls. And if
On
you
the
go jack off,
prowl.
then you're just all your energy is depleted. So if you're just
Yeah.
doing that all day long, you have no energy to go out there. If you just force yourself not to do it, not to watch the porn, not to jack off all the time, then you're gonna be like, okay, like I want to, like I want to like get rid of this horniness. Like let me go do the things I need to do. Like in order to get a girl, I'll go talk to one now instead of
Yeah.
just sitting there and just go watch the internet.
Clean up a little bit, take a shower, make the
Yeah,
bed, clean the
make
house,
yourself
wash
look
the
better.
car, do all that shit. See, all that stuff I just listed requires effort and work. That's
Yep.
why it's so much easier just to, oh, I'm gonna go on my computer and find this hot chick and do my thing.
Yeah, spank one out. So it's just about the thing. It's about being hungry and being like it brings that furiousness in you, like that
Hmm.
ready to go and let's go get it instead of just being lazy and tired and like that. And then when you're like that, what does that do? That's going to ruin with your mindset. And your mindset
Yeah.
gets, then your mindset follows that from putting into your body to being all lazy, not ready to go, not caring about talking to girls or eating, like doing anything. And then your mind starts feeling like, oh, I'm just lazy. I don't do anything. I accomplish nothing You want to accomplish things in life. Like life is short. Accomplish as much as you fucking possibly can.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? One thing I was thinking right now too is that I think a problem that we have right now in this current society is that everything is pretty much like on our the like a click of a button away. You could get anything from Amazon. Everything is this instant gratification where, a lot of even like little kids, they can't stand being bored for a second because all
Mhm.
these kids have their devices now.
Yep.
And, to me, it's like the same thing with food. I can go and get, a fucking hot fudge sundae and eat it. It's gonna taste delicious. But at this point in my life, like it doesn't bring me satisfaction. Right now, the things that require discipline is actually more fulfilling for me. The fact that I
Yeah.
restrain from eating, overindulging in food, and I'm waking up early. If I would have slept in, I would have been kicking myself in the ass, like, dude, like, what are you doing? You're trying to set these goals and you're trying to hit these goals, but your actions aren't aligned with what you're doing. So, and I think that, I don't know if that happens with everyone, but the more you discipline yourself, I don't know. It's like it starts to feed on itself. Like I want to do more. Like what else can I do? Like to push myself to grow and be a better version. Like I don't know. I'm on that kind of grind right now.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Just to change your mindset in general, just like sometimes you need to listen to some of the stuff and just think like, because no one tells anyone this kind of stuff if because you're mean, like go out there and get shit done, be a man, provide, like even if you're a woman, we're not women. So it's like a little bit different, I would say. But like, you could do the same thing as women, like go out there and get shit done, start losing weight, get that fucking nice body. A lot of women want to be looking good. So like, do what you can. Go get your, go get your teeth done. Your teeth smell. Like if you haven't been, go work out. Do it for a while. Like the first day is gonna suck. Do it for a week and do it for two. Like stop going on social media. Like do things that are gonna be beneficial for you and do it for a while, and you feel like, oh man, this is good. Even though you have that urge. Like I have off of social media for a week here on like Instagram and stuff like that. And then like the first few days, I'm like, oh man, I kind of want to download it to see what people say. I'm like, no, don't do it. I was on TMZ today on a little guest thing. I'm like, I should go back on and
Yeah.
I should go back on and post it to show everybody. No, don't do it. Don't like it has to be the highs and the lows. You don't put it on there because I'm not going to go on there for a while, just for a week or two to see how like it feels and just get some clarity, get away from all
Yeah.
the drama and bullshit sometimes. But go
Yeah.
get shit done.
That's like your discipline kicking in. It's like,
Yeah.
Another thing Andrew Tate talks about, like everything is fucking war. It's like,
Oh yeah.
and the way I kind of saw it was like, I have this fat little man living inside me, the old version of me. He wants to exist. But then I have the six pack Steven, he wants to exist too. So these two aspects of yourself are in constant turmoil, trying to battle each other. And it's kind of up to you, like who's gonna win? Am I gonna allow this older version of myself to creep back into my life? Or am I going to try to kind of travel into the unknown a little bit and try to get the six pack and build some muscle and do this other thing that I've never done before? And, one of them's easy and one of them's hard. That's why, like, I think Andrew Tate says, like, it's good to be struggling because that means you're doing the good shit. You're going in the right direction. You're growing. If you're not struggling, it's because you're content and you're passive. Everything's good. There's nothing I need to change because why would I change? I like the way everything's good right now. There's no reason to grow. There's no reason to do anything. So I'm kind of maybe I might be a little bit brainwashed now by him, but and I think that's a good thing to a certain extent. Like I want to be pushing myself and growing, and if it takes a certain amount of struggle to do that, then so be it. Like
Yeah.
I'm down for the challenge.
Is his shit making a better you? And is it
I feel
helping?
like it is.
Obviously, you're doing it, but it's helping you. So
Mhm.
then it's good. Like when people say he's bad. If it's making a better me, it's good. Like, oh, maybe you're a little too cocky now. Maybe you think you're better than other people. Well, am I being better? Am I like I should feel a little bit proud? Like you call it cocky, I
Yeah,
call it proud now. Like you're just taking it a different way. But at the end of the day, I am being a better person. If we all did this, we could all be better, and the world would be a better place because now we're all better. You know.
yeah,
And I love that thing about the war too, because you wake up in the morning, you're at war. You're at war with the guy that wants to go out there and be productive, and you're at war with the person that wants to stay in bed. You're fighting each other. Well, who's going to win? Then you go to
yeah,
the next thing. You're eating your breakfast. You're at the war with the person that wants to eat that healthy meal, and you're at the person that wants that sugary meal. Who's going to win? And you go out there and you try to get the best job. You're at war with other people that are trying to get that position. You want that raise. Well, you want that job that pays $10 more than this job. You're at war with somebody else. You're trying to get
yeah.
these views on this podcast. You're at war with other podcasts. You're out there
Mhm.
trying to get a girlfriend or a wife or a husband. You're at war with everybody else. You don't think like, oh, I want a fat ugly girl or a fat ugly guy because
Yeah.
they're easy and they just tell me what I could take control of them because I'm the controlling person or something like that. Or oh, I want a cute girl, like I want a handsome guy. Well, then guess what? There's other people that are going to try. Like there's a lot of cheating going on. There's people trying to steal them from you. So how are you going to keep them? How are you going to get them? You know, like because what makes you the winner, and like you're at war with everybody, and it goes all the way to the very end. Like you're at war with almost every decision you do in life and what you're doing in life. And if you're just gonna just sit there in your room, in your dark room, being all sad, watching sad or movies or whatever, scrolling through TikTok all day, who are you at war with? You're at war with a an unknown battle that the other person already lost. Like this person won. That lazy person that sits there in their room in the dark on scrolling social media all by themselves, all sad and lonely. That person won the war. But
Yeah.
you know, so like you got to drag it out of you, like drag it deep inside of you. There is that other person that's way in there, way
Yeah.
inside you. Like if you're that level of loss, in the war, if you're that level of loss, there's a person way in you, and you got to bring them out little by little, and eventually making those little punches and punching a little bit. Like I'm not going to scroll through social media as many hours. I'm actually going to go outside and say hi to the rest of the family instead of just being in my room all day. I'm going to actually go outside and talk to somebody and have a conversation. These little battles, start battling back to reality and start battling back into a better person so you could win the ultimate war. Because if you already lost the war and you just accept that, you're just going to fade away into existence and nobody's going to know you. You're going to be making my food, and like you're going to be the person that I'm giving welfare to, like, oh, my tax money and my stuff is going to give you welfare. We're going to help you out because as a society, we do that. We help out those people, but you're going to be that person. You're going to be taken care of by other people, and you're not going to do anything in life, and you're just going to fade away. No one's going to know you. You're going to make no impact. Like
Yeah.
even if you have a kid, like you have a kid, good things that you are doing, your kid's going to see that, and that's going to be a major impact. If you were just in your room all day, yeah, you have an impact, but it's not going to be a great impact. It's
Yeah.
going to be an impact of nothing.
Yeah. It's funny. One of the something you said right now made me think too. It's like, you know, it was Andrew Tate was saying like, oh, people like to complain to me like, oh, but it's hard. He's like, it's hard. He's like, fine then, be a fucking fat loser and let the winners win. Get out of the way and live that life. Quit complaining. If it's too hard, then don't do the work. But this is what's required to get to the next level. If you don't want to do it, go over there and complain and get out of my way.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. A lot, like he's at the level where like the next level is way up there, but a lot of people are like struggling, and they play victim and they point fingers and say people are mean and like this is the way it should be. Like everybody should live in some blissful like utopia of just like everyone just having a great time. But that's just not the way the world works. Shit has to get done. Electricity needs to be made in order for us to have lights. Like water towers need to be built in order for you to drink your water. Houses need to be built in order for you to have shelter. Your clothes need to be built. Who's doing this? You can't just have a blissful life. Like AI hasn't made it where they're just making everything for us. And even if it did, if every single thing was done for us, if like the food was grown by AI for us and robots and traveled to our houses for us and all electricity and houses were made, everything was made by robots. Like, would we just sit around doing nothing? No, I would be out there still working out. I'll be going out there. The AI is not going to run for me. The AI is not going to go hike
Yeah.
that mountain for me. It's not going to do the push-ups for me. I'm not going to just let everybody just take care of me. Yeah, it would be nice to not have frivolous jobs and stuff, but you're not living in a utopia where everything is just done for you.
Yeah.
Like everything is done for some people and they don't have no respect. They have no value in life. Like you got to go out there and help provide for society. This is a big working society. We're all cogs in the machinery, and you want to be a big cog, or you want to be a little cog, like you want to make some production, you want to make some value, you're going to get benefits and you're going to get rewarded for that. And if you don't, then you're just going to you're going to be sucking like a bloodsucker, like a little leech on the system, just blood sucking it out. And that's what you are.
Yeah.
And you're going to have no respect, and you're going to sit there and talk shit, and you're going to point fingers at people and blame everyone else. And then what kind of existence is that? I don't want to blame people. I don't want to blame anyone for anything. Like I don't want to
Yeah.
blame my parents for bad decisions they made because they were learning. I don't want to. They didn't know things. I don't want to blame my boss for being an asshole because I should be better so I could go get another job if I don't like him. Like everything's like I can improve my situation, but it
Mhm.
takes time.
Yeah.
It takes
I
effort.
I think too. I think by pointing the finger and blaming everything else is such like a detriment to like your overall well-being and the growth that you can achieve because you're always blaming other people for where you're at, you know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say when I was younger, I used to do that. Like, oh, I am this
me
way. I
too.
drink so much because my dad passed away, and I'm sad. Blah 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 blah. And it was always pointing the fingers. I am this way, and I do this because of them, because of her, because of the situation in my life. And it really wasn't until I started taking responsibility for where I'm at, like full on responsibility. Like it's
Yeah.
not my dad's
Hmm.
fault. It's not my sister's fault. It's not my job's fault. It's not the damn government. It's no one's fault but myself for the position that I'm in. Because now the ball's in your court. Now you can actually start to change things. But if you feel like everything else is the blame, you can't change everything else. That's out
Nope.
of your control. So if
Yeah.
you can put the ball back in your court and be like, all right, I take responsibility for this. What can I do to get out? And that's the beginning of change.
Yeah, and if your whole life's fucked, like, do you think you're going to be able to change that many things of other people? It's so hard to change yourself.
Yeah.
Think about how hard it is to change other people. So you think you're going to change your boss, your dad, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your friends, like the society, the president, the corporations, the billionaires. You're just going to change all that. Like, how are you going to change all that? Change your fucking self. Go
Yeah.
out there and do the things. And like, this is a long process. It takes a long time.
Yes.
Like, I'm sitting there. I want goals. I want to be financially free. I want to be super fit. You go to the gym one day. It takes forever. Like, but that grind in and grind out every single day, you're not gonna see progress. Like, I'm going to work every single day, busting my ass, trying to make a little bit of money. But like, okay, like, where's the progress? I know I'm spending less today and I'm saving a little bit more. And then like now I have a little bit more than I did. Well, it's not compounding until the pile gets bigger. Once it gets bigger,
Yeah.
then it compounds bigger. And the same thing with your health. Once you start getting really healthy, now I have a six pack. Now I'm like fit. Now I'm eating well. Now my metabolic health is doing better. My lungs breathe better. My heart beats better. There's less visceral fat on me. Now I could do more things. Like, my knees aren't hurt anymore. My back's not hurting. Now
Yeah.
I could do more things that are more adventurous, have a better, more fulfilling life. It all compounds, but it takes time to get to that spot. And then once you get to that spot, boom, now you're doing greater. Now you're doing better. Now you look for even higher goals, and now you have the more energy to get there. But it takes time. But it's that day in and day out grind every single day.
Yeah. Something you said reminded me. I keep like, should I keep saying what I heard from Andrew Tate? This
Andrew Tate. You
podcast
know
is
what? I
not
was
about Andrew
thinking,
Tate, but
like, we're like Andrew and Tristan Tate. We just got to figure out who's Andrew and who's Tristan.
we'll
This is our
pick
podcast.
broad
This is
scissors
Andrew and
for
Tristan
it.
Tate podcast.
Shit, now I forgot what I was gonna say.
Do you think Andrew Tate would have forgot what he was saying? He's so
No.
concise and on point.
Yeah, the guy's he's a very well speaker.
He's a very well
Yeah,
speaker.
it'll come back to me.
He says, I would definitely debate Jordan Peterson because I would destroy him. He's like, he
Damn.
talks too slow. And he said he doesn't really like him. He's like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So he has the same enemies. So he's like, yeah, I'm not going to talk bad about him, but I would destroy him because I just speak so fast and so clearly and so precise. Like, he just talks too slow. Like, yes, he might know
That'd
more.
be a good one.
He might know more
I
about a
like both of
certain
them, so I think
subject.
it'd be a good one to hear.
But yeah, it was pretty funny when he said that. But it just that just goes to the battle of like always like, can you beat him in a debate? I could beat anyone. I am the man. I can
Yeah.
handle it. Just imagine like your girl looking at you just with proud eyes, like, man, that's my man right there. He's so confident. He is such like, like, he takes care of shit. He handles
Yeah.
business instead of being like, oh, that's my man over there. He's a fucking weak little bitch.
Yeah, I think it's good to have that
People
kind
take
of
advantage of
confidence in
him.
yourself. You know,
People take
I
advantage of my man.
I guess in a way you could kind of come off like you are cocky, but there's nothing wrong in my mind with having a certain level of confidence. Like you don't want to go into a fight thinking that you're gonna lose. Like that is not
No.
gonna help you. It's gonna hold you back, if anything. But if you go into the fight, I haven't seen one UFC fight where the guy's like, "Oh yeah, I didn't train this hard. I don't think I'm gonna win this one." Like, no, every single fighter goes in thinking that they're gonna win. Nobody
Yeah.
thinks they're gonna lose. And you have to go into life that same way. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. How he kind
Okay.
of relates life to a video game, and he's like, in video games, it's about you get better gear and your character becomes stronger. And it's
Yeah.
almost like the same thing with life. That you do hard shit in life and your character builds, and now you're able to do harder shit. and it kind of keeps going. And he's like, it's the game of life and it's never ending. He's like, you can keep growing your character and becoming a better version. And once you
Mm,
get to that level, you realize, oh shit, there's another level up. I can keep working if I choose to. I could stay here if I want, but if I want to become better, there's another level. And then once you get to that level, there's another one. And it just keeps
yeah.
going up and up and up. And it's up to the individual how high you want to go. And there's nothing holding you back except yourself.
And you definitely don't want to play level one your whole entire life. How boring would that be playing the same game, just playing level one your whole life? Come on,
I have
motherfuckers.
mastered
Build your
level
shit up.
one.
Yeah. I was like, I am just a master. I know how to do level one, which is just like walk around and just sit in your room and scroll through TikTok. I am such a master at this. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, and we're over
That's
here
not a
destroying it.
very fulfilling life either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not fulfilling. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy too, because just like just thinking of like just getting better and all that stuff, like, you're in a different level. What level are you in? I don't know. How many levels are there?
It's infinite. Is there a top level? The only way you're gonna find out is by trying to get to the next
No,
one.
because even like billionaires, they're trying to be the richest. Like, okay, Elon Musk is the billionaire. That's the top level. I don't know. There's probably another billionaire that's like 15 years old or 20 years old, going to be a billionaire. And he's just like, I'm going to destroy Elon Musk. Like 200 billion, I'm going to be a 200
That's
trillion. Like
nothing. You're only trying
he
to
doesn't
do
even know what's
Mars?
coming.
I'm gonna colonize all the planets. This guy, I'm gonna colonize the gaseous planets too. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Figure out some flotation device.
just like that guy, Alex Holmlund, I think his name is. I forgot how to pronounce it, but he was the one that
Alex
scaled.
Ramosi.
Is that no? I'm thinking of you're thinking of the entrepreneur. I'm
Oh,
thinking
you're
about
thinking
the guy.
about the Twitter guy.
No, the guy that scaled Half Dome and scaled El
Oh,
Capitan and Ukaipa with no rope, and Ukaipa and Yosemite with no ropes. So he went up Half Dome and also El Capitan with no ropes.
man.
This is a straight up cliff. And he was just like, when he did it, he's the first person that ever did it, just went up all the way up El Capitan with no ropes, just by his hands, scaling it with rocks and got all the way to the top. And he was just thinking, like, yeah, there's going to be a kid out there that's watching this that's going to get inspired and probably scale something way better than I did, like something cooler or better, or do this one faster,
Yeah,
because now the mind is open. Oh, yeah. And
yeah.
that's what I was going to think too. Like, you're saying, like,
Fucking
going into a fight, you want to go with confidence that you're going to win. And I
yeah,
just
of
did a
course.
marathon less than a month ago, and like going into it, like I had a hurt knee, and I
Hmm.
didn't know if I was gonna how my knee was gonna hold up, but I was telling myself the whole time, like, I don't care, I'm finishing this marathon, even if I have to crawl through it. Like, if I had to
Nice.
stumble and stuff, so I already knew it was not gonna defeat me. There was no way that motherfucking marathon was gonna defeat Aaron Gula right here, SoCal
Yeah.
Gula. I was gonna beat it. There was no way. Like, I don't care. Even if they closed down the fucking marathon, everybody went home and it already got dark, I'm still getting it done. And I
Yeah.
seen some people out there doing a half marathon with me, and she was overweight. I remember just going down, and she was overweight. She probably had like 3 more miles to go, and she was pretty fat, and she was just
Hmm.
struggling, and she was in so much pain, but like she was still going. And I just had so much like, um, I was just so proud of her and stuff. I was just like, man, like she is doing it. Like no matter what, she is gonna finish this. I knew it. Like you could see the pain on her face. It was just so much pain, and she would just kept walking, kept going step by step, and she like eventually she was gonna get done. And that's what it is. Like you go in that fight. I already did one marathon before too, and I'm like, I'm gonna finish it. And this one was like, I'm definitely gonna finish it, and I'm gonna finish it too. Like before that time, I'm gonna beat my last time, and my next
Nice.
one I'm gonna beat this time. Like, and I wasn't in that good of shape this time either, but I was in worse shape last time. But
Yeah.
yeah, just going into those battles, like, that's what I do. Like when we go on these hikes, like we're gonna go on a 12-hour hike today and hike up 6,000 feet elevation. And
Yeah. Those are
there's no
brutal.
thought of me thinking like I'm not gonna finish this. Like we're gonna go see that fucking top of that mountain.
Yeah, there
Like
was
I'm
no
thinking
question. Like, we're not going. We're
there's
not.
a
We'll just
picture
go
right here.
halfway. Let's just go halfway. Like, what the?
Yeah, there's a picture right here of 2021 of me and you on my wall, and
Nice.
like we almost made it to the top. It's 8,559 feet, and you were cramping up. And
Yeah,
you were
that
like,
was fucking
I
bad.
didn't think you were gonna make it, but like you just kept going and plugging like for the last like thousand, like I probably last like 500 feet. You were
Yeah.
cramping up so bad you couldn't even walk. You were just holding the tree and
Yeah.
stuff. You
I
didn't
was
quit.
taking
You
like
still went.
fucking I'll take like 5 steps and then like, all right, I need a fucking break. But
Yeah,
we were so close that I could see the top to where we needed to go. I'm like, that's all I have to fucking go. I'm not fucking turning back now. And it was funny
yeah,
because I remember thinking in that moment, like, how the fuck am I gonna get back down? Like, I'm struggling, like I'm
yep,
taking a few steps and my legs are starting to fucking lock up. Like, how am I gonna get back down? But luckily, on the way down, you're using slightly different muscles. So I gave the other muscles where you're on the incline a break.
Yeah.
And,
But the
but
thing is,
whenever
you
I
did
would
it.
hit, yeah, when I would hit the incline again, I'm like, oh, like, fuck, this shit is fucking brutal.
And the
I think I had a banana all day too. I'm like, I was not fucking prepared at all.
Yeah, but the thing like that though, you're at the top, you have to go down. There's no other choice. There's nobody up there to
Yeah.
pick. Like, what are you
Call a
supposed to
fucking
do? I can't
helicopter.
carry you down. So when your mind knows like your body's failing and hurting, just like with that marathon, it's hurting, and like the last 5 miles of a 26-mile run, you're thinking like, oh, your body hurts. Like it is so much pain, but in your mind, like there's no other choice. I have to get down. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Just stay up here? Like, I'm already up here. So
Yeah. I
once
think
your
by doing,
mind knows that, it gives your body the energy or whatever it has to do to get through it. And then once you get through it, then it's like, okay, now I'm done. Like I'm broken down, but you made it. You did it.
yeah. And I think by doing like that hard shit, like the hikes or even like the marathon, because that shit, 26 miles is a long fucking time to be
It was the
running
hardest
or
thing I ever did.
even
It was
fucking
brutal.
walking. But doing hard shit like that, I think helps pull out a certain amount of like resilience and grit out of you. There's this aspect of you that is lying dormant that you can pull out, and in that moment you needed him, and he came out and said, "All right, we are gonna make it." And the more you bring that aspect of you out, I think the longer he can stay out. It's like the more
Yeah.
you practice on doing it, the more of it that you have. So by doing all this hard shit, it's
Mhm.
almost like leveling up in life. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna be able to do harder shit because you're gonna be like, all right, well, now that I've done this, like what else am I capable of? What else can I do that I'm holding myself back from? And you kind of lose that fear a little bit and start being more curious about what you're capable of.
Yeah. It's like your mind you're capable of almost anything. It's crazy too. Cause
Yeah.
like finishing that marathon, I'm thinking like people do this in Ironman. So when I finished that marathon and I was in so much pain, I'm thinking like, imagine getting on a bike and doing how many ever miles they do and then going doing a swim after that. I don't even know. But
Oh,
obviously you have
man.
to train for that in order to get it, but it's
Yeah.
possible. Like I think that what you're saying too about the challenge and just get through it is my job. Like my job, I've been working since I was 15, but it's like
Mm,
there's been days when my old mentor passed away, Og, that they
mm.
they push you. They're like, you're doing all this work from 5:30, no, from 6 in the morning when you started till 5:30 p.m. at night. So that's 11 and a half hours of work, and you're just sitting there constantly working all day with those 2 5 10 minute breaks. It was kind of like slave labor, but you're working
Yeah.
and you had to get all this shit done. And just like I would just be like, we're getting it done, I don't care, like boom boom boom. And I remember just one of the examples is we had 6 houses and I'm like, we're going to snap them, plate them, and detail them all ourselves today. And I told the guys when they started talking and stuff, I'm like, hey, if you're going to talk, we're going to be into the dark. So every time you talk for 10 minutes, that's 10 more minutes in the dark because that's when we're going to finish. But we're getting this done. And I was like, I don't care. And like, I
Yeah.
don't give a fuck. We're doing it. And I was on everybody's ass talking shit to them. Hey, shut the fuck up. We're trying to get this done. Stop talking. Hurry up. No, hurry up and take a break. We're only taking 10 minutes. We're going back to it. And it's just that mindset. We're getting this done. Like, no, I don't give no fucks. We're doing this today. And we did it. And then like at the end of the day, my boss was like, what the hell? You guys finished all that? I'm like, yep. I didn't fucking care about no applaud, no like pat on the back or anything. I'm like, yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
What's next tomorrow? What are we doing tomorrow? Let's go. Let's do the next thing. Let's make some more money. Let's get this shit done.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it tomorrow too. And it was
Yeah.
just like
Well,
that was it.
that's
It's
why you
just
were able to buy a fucking house when you were 20 years old.
yeah, it was that mentality.
You fucking have that hustle.
Yeah, exactly.
I will always remember you telling me that story too. It wasn't even like someone on your fucking team, but it was like, so the foreman or something from the that does something else on the construction site. You're like, am not leaving this work until that fucker leaves first. I want him to know that I was here before he got here, and I'm gonna stay until after he leaves. I will
Exactly.
not let him. I will keep working. I'll find something to do, but I will not leave
Yeah.
before that motherfucker leaves.
Yeah, and it's like the Mamba mentality too. It's like that's what
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant did, like it's like, oh, I'm just gonna go
That's
and
why he
get
was a fucking great.
you get people in there like, okay, practice end at 2 o'clock p.m. And you're like, you go home, take a shower, chill, talk to your girlfriend, come back. You know what? I left my stuff in my locker. I'm gonna go back and get my stuff out of my locker. It's 6:30 p.m. Practice stopped at 2. And you go in there, Kobe Bryant's there working out still. He's still like,
Still
what's going
practicing.
on here? Like everyone left four
Yeah.
and a half hours ago. And he's like, what are you doing? He's just like, oh, I really need to practice this shot. Like I need to practice this move. And like it's just that mama mentality. And I
Yeah.
lost that along the way. Like later on in my like late because of alcohol, I started getting into alcohol, started feeling depressed, and you can lose these mindsets, after a
Yeah.
while. And then so I started getting alcohol, started partying, started getting a little fatter, like I was saying, getting more lazier. And I was still working hard and stuff, and then then when I get lazier, now I'm like my back's starting to hurt because I'm overweight. My knees are starting to hurt. So then I'm just like, oh man, I can't work, blah, blah, blah. And it just I felt like I couldn't do it. Now that I'm losing weight again, I'm like, oh, my back's not hurting as much. My knees aren't hurting. Now I'm
Nice.
getting that confidence back. Now we're going at it. We're gonna make this money. We're gonna fucking build our finances up. We're gonna build our health up, and nothing's gonna stand in my way. Nothing's gonna stop me. Try it. Try to. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna go out there and outwork me, or you're gonna go out there and you could shoot me in the head, but at that point, game over. But other than that, if I'm alive and I'm breathing, watch out, motherfucker. Like coming.
Yeah, I've even heard people like argue against like, oh, we're in such like a hustle and grind mentality, the rise and grind. You always got to be working, working, working. You always got to be doing something.
Yeah,
I mean, there are people against that, which, I can understand if you don't want to do all that, but
yeah,
there are
definitely.
people who want to be doing better. They want to improve themselves. They want to get to the next level. And there's nothing wrong with that either. It's like different strokes for different folks. Do whatever is going to please you. But if you're fat and you're unhealthy and your lifespan ends up being short, like you have no one to blame but yourself because no one could
Yeah,
do the exercise for you. Nobody can eat the food for you. It's like certain
yep,
things can only be done by you. So
yeah.
it's like one of
And
those
then
things. It is what it is.
like what I thought of, like what I've learned throughout the way too, is like I used to do that, like work till 6 in the morning until 5:30 at night, and I was just all work. That's all it was, just work. I'm like, I could outwork anybody. I could work longer than anybody, like try to outwork me and stuff like that. But it's like now I realize, like, yeah, I could still hustle and grind. I see that what the people are talking about that because you're just working. So you're
Mhm.
lacking on your nutrients and nutrition. You're lacking on your gym. You're lacking on like your meditation, your sleep. And
Yeah.
like, so now I'm like, I'm still hustling and grinding every day. Like, I'm still going after it and fucking, like, as I say, stand in my way. But now I know, like, okay, you have certain, like, you got to get other things done too. So like, when I'm at work, I'm working and I'm getting everything done. I'm hustling, getting as much thing, but I also have to save time for that sleep, the nutrition, and working out, and like some meditation and some a little bit, because that all goes into the whole spectrum of health.
Yes.
Like I used to not do that, and that's what led to me drinking, smoking, feeling bad, not getting enough sleep, too much stress, and all these things are killers. So, like, do you want
Yep.
to live a long time? And that's actually more productive for the long run. You have to have a healthy body and a healthy mind. And that goes with all these other things. So I'm like, I'm still like killing it, but it's like now I'm not like, okay, I'm not going 12 hours at work. I'm only going
Yeah.
8 hours. And then those other 4 hours are going for nutrition, gym, and doing the podcast, doing like my side business and stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm still doing 12 hours of work. Most
Yeah.
people just do the 8, go home, shut it off. It's done. As soon as I walk out that door, don't mess with me, don't talk to me, don't do anything. I'm going to be a lazy fuck for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But
And,
so it's
and
just,
really, there's no point of having $100 million if you don't have your health. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
no,
And
no
if
point
you if,
whatsoever.
if you have, a health issue that money cannot fix, like what's the point of having all the money if you can't live long enough to enjoy it or even have your health to enjoy it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So in
the
those
health wise.
regards, like I understand in those regards, you have to have a balance, but you can still go hard. You could probably go harder than
Yeah.
you think you can, but
Oh yeah,
yeah,
you could always do
you gotta
more.
have balance to a certain degree.
Yeah. There's only so much time in a day, and like, you need your sleep. It's like just the same thing. Like, you just have to take care of your machine. And
Yeah.
by sleeping the right amount of time, you don't have to sleep 10 hours. You don't have to sleep. Once you sleep more than 10 hours, it's too much. Like, now you're just being sedentary, and your body, that's bad for your body.
It's like you
You know,
wake up tired again after you sleep
yeah.
too long too.
Yeah, it's not good. Like, every now and then you could get a really good sleep in like that and just regenerate. Like, hey, I've been getting 6 hours this whole week. It's Sunday. Let me just get a real 10, 12 hour in. Like, if you need that here and there, a
Yeah.
long vacation, you did a lot of stress. But at the end of the day, like, your body needs sleep in order to regenerate. And you
Yeah.
need that regeneration. Your cells regenerate, your whole body, like, you feel good. And then now you have that clear mind when you wake up to make the right decisions and be better at work. But you need that body, and then, like, with the nutrition you put in your body. If you're putting AM/PM food in your body every day, your body, and smoking weed and drinking beer and drinking and smoking cigarettes, you're putting nothing but toxins in your body. And so now your body's going to try to fight that. It's going to have inflammation in your body, and you're not going to feel optimal. But if you're
Yeah.
putting like turmeric in and eating like good stuff and like with low sugar and low salt, like just good stuff, your body's gonna feel good. So just those two
Yeah.
things, now your body is like a well-oiled machine. Now you can kill it way faster at work, because now you could be way more
Yeah.
productive, more clear. You could actually make the right decisions in order to even move up in a better position, because
Yeah.
you don't have that bad attitude, because you're not sleeping. You don't have that inflammation. You have inflammation. So it's just
Yeah.
so it all combines into one. And then by doing that, then you like, okay, now I'm energized enough where I can go to the gym at the end of the day. and boom, there you go. Now you got a full spectrum of health.
Yeah. I've heard somebody say garbage in, garbage out.
You are
If you
what you
put
eat.
garbage in your body, you're gonna get garbage out of your body. I
Yeah.
even think it's the same thing with your mindset. If you're freaking constantly just scrolling through social media and you're getting all this nonsense garbage, like you're gonna have a garbage mindset and a garbage perspective because you're letting all these other stupid things influence you. You could just be listening to Andrew Tate and bettering yourself.
that was that was good. Oh man, that caught me
Uh,
off guard. Just listen to Andrew Tate or Health Over Everything podcast.
there you go.
Because we'll just reiterate it in
Yeah.
our own way. So who are you? Are you Tristan Tate or are you Andrew? Am
I'm
I
fucking Andrew
Tristan?
Tate. Fuck
Am I
that.
Tristan Tate?
You are Tristan Tate.
He doesn't talk very much, though. I talk a lot more than he does.
They're I don't know, I think they're very similar.
Yeah, no, that definitely is similar.
I feel
They
like
have
Andrew
that
Tate,
brotherhood. We have that brotherhood like they have that brotherhood. Come after
yeah,
fucking like if you're a fucking government and you're trying to throw me in jail for fucking some bullshit that I'm trying to teach people how to be healthy, fucking I like no, if you're gonna throw Steven in jail, like just throw me in there too, because I don't want to be anywhere without him. Like I'm gonna go in jail, and then me and him are gonna be in together, fucking doing pull-ups and doing push-ups and talking about fucking how we're gonna kill the health industry and
yeah.
make people healthier and better mindsets when we get out.
It's like him talking about 10 guys with knives are trying to attack my brother. It's like, well, fucking I'm dying with you, but we're taking some of these motherfuckers out too.
Yeah,
Like I'm not gonna let my fucking brother die by himself. Like, he's
yeah,
not like a fucking coward. And I think, I feel very fortunate to have a friend like you. I feel like it's a very rare thing. Not a lot of people have a lot of friends that you could really count on and or that are like-minded.
yeah. Yeah, like the Andrew Tate says, and then like they say, like they have a brotherhood, which obviously him and his brother, those like that's something that a bond that they're never gonna break. And
Yeah.
he says, like, yeah, he has a high standard for himself, which most people should have. You should have a high standard for yourself. And then
Yeah.
by that, if that means he has a high standard for the people around him. So he has a
Mm.
small circle. Like he says, I only have very few people because I have such a high standard. He's like, he's saying like if we went into a fight and you literally like me and you went into a fight and you literally like someone started fighting me and you went over there and started fighting too and you just got knocked the fuck out and beat up,
Yeah.
you're still in my team. But if you didn't fight and you just didn't do anything, you're like fuck you, you're out of here. What are you doing? I mean, you're a bitch. You're not gonna help me out.
Fucking
Like what
turn
kind of
around and
brotherhood
I'm
do you have?
fucking gone.
Are you going to help me in any other situations or whatever? Go get beat up
Yeah.
with me, like like I would do the same. I seen someone stalking you. I got to go stalk them up, like I'll get beat up with you if anything. We're gonna get stabbed together. We're gonna get stabbed together. Like going in, that's what a true brotherhood and a tight knit group does. And you got
Yeah.
to find those people because and everyone else are just. It doesn't mean that you can't talk to them. Doesn't mean, but you just got to let them know, like, hey, you're not that person in my life. You're not that close to me. Like you're
Yeah.
just, like, and all these things. I'm just gonna be with you so I could get with the girls around you. So you're just with me for the girls. You're not here to like as a brotherhood. Like you can go
Yeah.
get girls anywhere. Why are you using me?
Dude, that reminds me of I think one of the first fights I got in was because my friend was getting hit. Like my friend, I remember he had his hands up, Oscar Turtle. He freaking had his hands up
Uh,
and he's like, no, like I'm not trying to fight. And the guy just starts fucking trying to deck him. I'm like, wait, what? And I just like I didn't even think. I just fucking started fucking hitting that guy
yeah.
because my friend's getting hit. It's not like that's the kind of people you want on your side.
Yeah, I did that one time at a bar too. My friend was talking shit about some sober people or some sober people, and we are drunk. And I just see him walk over there like and just hit my friend, knock him out. And then I hit the one dude and I get knocked out. And then like so I wake up and I'm like, and the next morning I'm like, oh man, just I had
You
a
win?
fracture in my hand.
Oh
And I'm like,
damn.
what happened? My boss was like, what happened? And I had a fat lip. And I was like, I don't know. They socked my friend. I socked him, and then I got socked. Like that was it, pretty much. Like I was just
Yeah.
drunk. That's he's like, oh, what happens, huh? And I'm like, yeah, that shit happens.
Yeah. Fuck, I remember your ass too. Fucking coming out of the car with the fucking Jack Daniels bottles. We're about to get into it with somebody. You had the fucking Daniels bottle by the handle, and you're like running up to like the crowd. I'm like, Aaron, get your fucking ass back here with that bottle. You ain't fucking hitting nobody with the goddamn bottle.
Yeah, and I'm not even much of a fighter. Like,
Oh,
especially now I'm too old. I was saying like I'm 40 now, and I was like, you know why 40-year-olds don't ever hang out in places where like 20-year-olds hang out, especially guys, because we know we can't beat them up. like even if you were a badass 20-year-old, like if you're a badass fighter, a big dude that's just like I could beat people up, You're not going to go hang out with 20-year-olds because how you were when you were 20, that guy is out there and he's going to beat 40-year-old you up
Yeah,
most of the time. Yeah,
maybe.
most of the time.
Honestly, I'm at the age where I'm not willing to fucking risk it. I gotta fuck it. My wrist is all fucked up.
Do you think
I don't need
20-year-old
any
Steven
fucking
would win
medical
in a fight
problems.
against 40-year-old Steven? Who
I
would
think
win?
I think it'd be a good one. I think maybe the 40-year-old one, a little bit wiser. I might be slower, but maybe the fact that I didn't want to get hit would make me a little bit more more in line with it.
I know.
But
I still feel like the 20-year-old. I remember when you were 20 years old doing field goal kicks to your stomach, stalking you, and just like how you just don't get injured as much as well. Like,
yeah, you just
you have
don't give
more
a fuck
energy.
either.
Yeah, it's just you have that. That's why in fighting, who wins most of
Yeah,
the time? Like
20
young
year old
man
Steven would
sport.
probably win now that I'm thinking about it because I didn't
Yeah,
give a
young man
fuck.
sport.
I didn't give a fuck about getting hurt. I'll punch a hole in the fucking wall to get to your ass if I had to.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so yeah, so anyhow, we're running up on an hour here. Are we gonna anything
think,
else you want to talk about?
think it might be time to end it. Unless
The
there's anything
mind
you want to
Aikido.
add.
I think that was a good podcast, good
Yeah, I
episode
like
with a
that.
lot of crazy powerful information. But just remember, guys, go out there and get it. Get that mindset right and go kill it. The world is yours to take. You don't have to be passive. You don't have to listen to these people. Go in there,
Mhm.
find yourself a crew of people, recruit them if you have to, or just say, I'm in this crew now. I don't care what you're saying. And they're gonna be like, what the hell? Why are you in there? Because I got the attitude. I'm ready. I got the mindset, a keto mindset,
Yeah.
just to get those sad feelings out, get that bad feelings away. Shoe fly don't bother me. And go out there and just get that ironclad mindset.
Yep. And do the fucking hard shit in life. Push yourself. Like that is ultimately, I think that is gonna make you feel better. If you're depressed, I think a good thing is to do something with your body. Do some fucking exercise because I've never felt bad after I've gotten out of well, I don't go to the fucking gym. I work out at home. But I've never felt bad after, a
Go to the
workout
fucking
like, oh, I feel bad that I got that workout in. No, I feel fucking good about myself. My energy levels are through the roof. I can eat like a fucking maniac if I want to. It's like there's nothing bad with working out in my mind. It's all going to be benefits. And if you're in a little funk in your life, go for a fucking run, go lift some weights. You're going to feel better in the end. Do the hard shit. It's going to be more fulfilling, I think, in
Yep.
the long run.
And
And
even
even in the
sometimes when
short
I
term.
don't feel like working out, I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like feeling like really bad. And I go in there and I'm like, I don't even feel like doing this. And if I'm like, I don't even want to do it. Like, and afterwards, I'm like, I still don't want to do it. I'm done with this workout. I didn't want to do it. It's horrible. But I'm just like, I'm glad I still did it though, because that
Yeah.
means I just did it even though I felt horrible and I don't want to even do this shit.
Yeah, for me lately, it's the hard part is waking up. Like I don't ever question if I'm gonna work out or not. I'm gonna fucking do it. But what time am I gonna wake up to do it? That's like my battle. Like I'm trying to 4 o'clock. I want to get up at 4 no matter what. So today was the fucking first day. So I'm proud of myself for that. But no more of the 4:15, 4:20, like hitting the snooze button, being lazy. Like just fucking get up, do what you have to do, and
What
get your
about the cold plunge? You doing that?
honestly, it's kind of taking the back burner.
Okay.
Been doing them on the weekends, but I'm like,
Sometimes,
do I
yes,
want to
it's
wake
most
up at
important.
like at fucking 3:45 to do it? Like maybe I will get to that point, but at this
Yeah.
point, I'm trying to focus more on my workouts and my nutrition, and then on the weekends I'll do the cold plunge. My
Yeah.
son,
And
he
honestly,
likes to do
working out
them.
and the nutrition is the most important anyhow.
Yeah, that's my main focus right now. So I would like to do it. I just want to figure out a way, maybe even to do it at the end of the day.
Just jump in it right after this podcast.
I'm gonna fucking do it. I ain't taking a shower. I'm gonna wash myself off in there.
Just be in the sun.
I need to lower it back down because I had it set to 60 for
Yeah.
my son to get in there.
Oh
But
yeah, your son's been getting in it as well, huh?
he's been like every weekend, he's like, "Are we gonna do the cold plunge, Daddy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you want to do the cold plunge? All right, let's do it." So
You're raising an ironclad, mentally strong little young man right there. It's awesome to
hopefully,
see. Well, trust me, you are. I see it. But
thank you.
hopefully, like you're saying, he doesn't get none of those negative influences, those little soy boy bitches out there trying to influence him another way because the whole world's trying to bring people
Oh,
down, trying to
I tell
drag
him
your
that
ass
shit
down
all
so
the
they
time.
can win.
I'm like, do you think Daddy wants to wake up at 4 in the morning and everyone's sleeping and work out? Like, no, I don't necessarily want to do that, but it's necessary for what I want. I'm like, and I do that because I want to be able to take you to your martial arts class after school. If I wait till after work to work out, it's like trying to squeeze too much into the fucking day at the end of the day. But
Yeah,
what
no,
I can do, what's in my control is I can go to bed early and I can wake up early and get the shit that I want to do done and finished.
Yeah, and by
No, no
stressing,
fucking excuse. No
putting it
fucking
all at the
excuses.
end, it just raises stress levels.
Yeah, and then oh Stevie, Daddy can't play with you. I have to work out. Like, no,
Yeah,
I don't want to do all that shit.
yeah, exactly. All righty, so that's episode 27. Hope you guys liked it. Got some information. If you did, make sure you share, like, and subscribe. But make sure you share at least with one person. We're trying to get some
Make sure
subscribers
you
out
at
here.
least at the very minimum tag Andrew Tate in this. Cobra Tate, come on.
Yes, and also tag Andrew Tate. But yeah, we're getting our views down. Maybe our content isn't good or something, or maybe I don't know. But listen to this shit and share it with a friend. Like, come on, guys. We're out here trying to give as much out valuable information as we can.
Yep.
Also, if you want to be on this podcast and you have a health journey or health information you want to talk about, hit me up on SoCalGula8 on X. That's where I'm at. X. That's where you'll find me.
Yeah, anything health related, either mental, physical, nutrition, we're down for any of that.
Let's go. All right. Keep living that whole life.
Yep.
SoCalGula out.
Peace.